Hello friend, it's Mark out on the back 40, and in this episode we're going to test 4 different fixed blade broadheads out of a high-speed bow. We're going to test the Afflictor, Annihilator, G5 Montec, and G5 Striker, and what we're looking for is accuracy. The test setup is like the test I did last week, and what I did last week was just a test to see, because I used to shoot mechanical broadheads out of my crossbow because I thought that that was the only way to get accuracy, and I always thought that fixed blade, you couldn't get enough accuracy out of fixed blade because they would plane and fly around. So that was an unbranded test. If you want to see if you should shoot fixed blade out of your high-speed crossbow, or if you need to stick to mechanicals for accuracy, go back to that video from last week and you'll see the results. And basically I'll cheat and I'll tell you the results are fixed blades shoot just as accurate, or at least accurate enough compared to mechanicals. And then you take the probability of failure out of the moving parts on the mechanical. That's really all it is. And so in this test, what we're doing is basically the same thing. We're using the same bolt. We're going to use the same bolt for every single shot you see, the exact same bolt. And based on that, that's kind of going to be our control. So we're going to shoot field points first, just to show you how accurate the bow is and how accurate I am, just kind of give you an idea. And then once we have that control, then we'll start shooting the broadheads. Now, what I don't want you to make sure you do is focus on the black dot. I'm aiming at the black dot, but what we're looking for is the consistency of the shot, like how tight are the groups. And the black dot, once I decide on which brand I'm going to use, I'll dial in the scope like perfectly for that broadhead. But right now, we're just going to start throwing 3 shots of each of them down there, and I'll show you those super quick, and then I'll do a summary at the end. All right, so here are the results of the shooting. Again, 3 shots for each of them, and you can see really they're all really accurate. I think that they're all accurate enough that I would shoot any of them. So I mean, you can see the 3 shots with the field point just as our control, and then the accuracy of each of these other ones. And again, it's not like where the black dot is, but it's the grouping, and the grouping from 40 yards. All these shots, I didn't say that before, all these shots are from 40 yards. So I'm just going to go through each of them real super quick in case you've never seen these before. The Annihilator brand, they have 2 different sizes, and the only size they had in stock was, I'll say, the smaller size. So that's kind of what it looks like. What's unique about this is the shape. It's kind of got a scoop in the, it's not a through blade, it's a scoop. And their idea with that is that, as it goes through the animal, it actually creates a vacuum, so it pulls flesh closer to it, so it cuts more. And then once it passes and that vacuum goes away, the flesh opens up, and it actually creates a larger cutting diameter than what is on the actual blade if you measure it itself. And that would probably need to happen because it seems it is smaller than all the other ones. And maybe I should show you that, and I will compare it a second. But you can see how accurate it was. I thought, accurate enough for 40 yards to kill an animal? Oh yeah, absolutely. So here's, if I were to compare it to, this is the G5 Striker, I believe an 1/8 inch diameter cut. So you can just see the difference in the size there. But, this is where you got to decide, like, what is more important? Something small like this would actually probably penetrate more if it went through a bone. than something with a larger diameter like that. So you got to kind of decide. But anyways, okay, so while I have this in my hand, this is a G5 striker made for crossbows. Again, here's the information on it. And I mean, again, a very, very accurate shot. I'd have to dial in the scope a little bit for this one, which I'm willing to do. But it's, you know, it's okay. And then this is the Afflictor brand. And, you know, how did I pick these ones? That Afflictor is pretty cool looking. And there's something about this one, this brand, it just seems beefy. Like it seems really, really stout. And really, like if that hit a bone, I think it would laugh at it as it went through it. I mean, look how, I don't know if it's probably focusing enough, but that is so thick at the point, at the tip there. And then those blades are thick too, holy moly. Like, I think that if there's any kind of a bone involved with a shot, this probably is the brand that's gonna get through it the best and come out the best. So, but you know, accuracy again was, I mean, they're very accurate. So, I mean, I think that would be fine, but I just want you to be able to see that this is a 4-blade, and if you haven't seen them before, that's kind of how they look. And then the G5 Montech is just a pretty simple 3-blade fixed. Like there's nothing, I mean, you could resharpen this thing if you wanted to. Put it on a stone and sharpen it back up and use it over and over and over again. Pretty decent cutting width on it. You know, you can see the length. And very accurate. I mean, this might have been the most accurate one. You'd have to go back and look at the video to look at all of them. But yeah, I think this might be the most accurate one. But they're all accurate enough. I guess that's kind of what my takeaway is this, is that all these different brands, they're all accurate enough. So what you need to decide, and what I need to decide, I don't know which one I'm going to use yet. I need to decide, like, what is important to me. Is it the look and the stout of the Afflictor? Or is it the penetration that an Annihilator will do? Because it's a smaller diameter, it's gonna penetrate. So, you know, what's gonna kill an animal more? If you get more penetration, you know, you always wanna pass through if you can, right? And the reason why? Because it damages more critical organs. And so if you have, you know, some of those mechanicals, they get like, what, 2 inches wide, 3 inches wide, some goofy stuff like that. And that's fine, but what if it only goes halfway through the animal because it's so wide and it only gets one lung? I mean, if a deer, I mean, I know you guys have probably all seen this and heard stories. I mean, if you only get one lung, bye. Like he's probably, you're not gonna recover him. He's just gonna stay alive and keep going and going and going. So you have that huge cutting diameter, but if you had a smaller broadhead like this, Annihilator, and you got a pass through and you did puncture both those lungs, maybe, I mean, it's still gonna be that wide instead of that wide, but you hit both lungs, he's not gonna make it. So I think all these broadheads will work. You gotta look at the one that you think you like. You gotta go with your own philosophy. Maybe you look at where the manufacturer is and support your state. I mean, that's how did I pick these ones? I picked the G5s because they're manufactured in Michigan and we're in Michigan. So that's one of the reasons I picked those. I picked the Annihilator because it's a very unique concept and I wanted to understand the scoop part of this and see how well they flew, and so you saw that. And I picked Afflictor. They're not made in Michigan and neither are the Annihilators, but the reason I picked this is that they have really good information on YouTube. When I started looking to see like, hey, can I shoot fixed blade out of a high-speed crossbow? They're the ones that had, I think, the most recent and poignant information about it. What I thought was interesting with these guys at Afflictor was they have mechanical broadheads too, but they're not trying to push anybody in any direction on what to use. But they did put a lot of information about the fixed blade coming out of a crossbow, which I liked. There was a couple other guys too that did some nice stuff. But these are the ones, and that's why I picked these ones. So thanks for watching. I wish that I could help you, tell you exactly what to use. I have to go through this and decide what I'm going to use too. But I am going to use one of these. I'll probably end up using all of them over time. I mean, I bought these with my own money. So I'm not going to throw them away. I'm going to use them. So probably over the next 20 years, I'll be using all of these because I feel confident in every single one of these. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.